I'm pleased to say I'm joined by the two-time PDC World Championship qualifier and the 9-dart man himself, Jerry Hendriks. Thanks for the time, Jerry. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing really fine at this moment, Alex. Thanks for having me. Really looking forward to being on your show, of course.
It's great to have you on, and there is only one place to start, and that is with the weekend just gone and a special moment for you, throwing a 9-dart finish in the Musketeers Masters in the Netherlands. We saw the video of you taking out the 141, the celebration after, and am I right in saying that was your first 9-darter in an official game?
Yeah, that's true. I've been playing darts for a long time now. It's been 25 years already. So I can remember it was almost 21 years ago. I missed my first 9-darter on a double 12, and all those years it just didn't go in. So that's really strange that I'm throwing my first 9-darter on age 34. Really happy with the result, of course. That you could see that in the video. A little bit of a strange reaction and strange happiness again, but yeah, that's just me.
And I think you said on Facebook, and you said it there, you'd missed many chances in the past for a 9-darter. So what did it mean to finally achieve that and throw the perfect leg in a game?
Yeah, it just feels so fulfilling, actually, to hit a 9-darter. I didn't know that feeling because I never hit one in an official game. Of course, practice is another thing. I've hit a couple of them, a lot of them in practice sessions. But yeah, it's just one of those things that didn't quite fit well in an official game. And in an official game, if you never hit one, you start thinking quite soon. After you hit the 5th or the 6th treble already, you start to think, perhaps maybe a 9-darter in this game. And then if you overthink it, that's the problem with darts. So all of a sudden I didn't overthink it and I just threw the 141. And then I realized, I hit a 9-darter in this moment. So that's why the outburst came.
Good times. Well, you once famously said that you felt like a fish on the stage after a match at Ali Pali. So what animal would you say you felt like after that 9-darter went in?
I still feel like a fish. Still feel like a fish on stage. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that comment really came into the news quite a lot over the years still on this moment. Although it's I think 6 years ago or something. But yeah, I just feel happy, and on that moment, standing next to Peter Wright, I feel really happy with getting to the Worlds in that moment, and I felt okay. So that's why the hilarious mistake came in the language barrier.
Well, we'll come on to that a bit later on, but we should mention as well that, of course, you got the 9-darter at the weekend, but you also went on to win that tournament as well. So where do you feel your game is right now? Does the 9-darter show that you are coming into some good form?
Yeah, that's quite a strange thing because I chose to do a sabbatical year this year. I didn't go to Q school as I will be becoming a dad for the first time in my life. So I had some other priorities. So I set my life up like, I'm focusing on work, darts, doing some leagues, some tournaments. Don't practice a lot because there's not really a point to it on this moment. And all of a sudden, everything goes in. I don't practice a lot, not really, but the pressure is off, like a weight is lifted off my shoulders. Also in becoming a dad, of course, I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, I feel free. So that's also, you can see it in the game, I think, because I never had so many 180s and 170 finishes and like this 9-darter in my life. And it's cool to be looking forward when my first child is born to prepare to a strategic point in the future, what the plans will be. And I will be attending Q school maybe next year, but maybe year after.
So let's rewind back to the start for you in darts, and when you were young, around 9 or 10 was when we were seeing Raymond van Barneveld win his first world title at the Lakeside and the beginning of that darts boom in the Netherlands. So for you, how did you first get introduced to darts?
Yeah, just for me, it's the same as for many other youngsters in that moment. They saw Raymond Barneveld winning his first world title, and then darts came over to Holland as a tank. Everybody wanted to play darts, and it was such a hype. Every bar had darbos over there. There were dart shops popping out on every street corner, so you couldn't go around darts. You get influenced by that. Yeah, a couple of years after, I noticed that I was quite better than all the other players of my age. So I began I began winning regional tournaments, and then after I went national, international, and winning tournaments over there as well. So that was the start of my youth years, and quite successful on that moment.
Yeah, you definitely were. Let's fast forward to 2003, and you're representing the Netherlands in the WDF Youth Cups. The first of them that year was the Europe Cup. You helped your country win the boys' team event. What was it like putting on that shirt to play for the Netherlands at such a young age as well?
Yeah, it was such an honour because as a youngster, you see, like we told before, Raymond van Barneveld winning the world title as a Dutchman, and then the dream is to becoming a world champion as well. And on that moment, there was only the World Cup that was seen as a world championship for the youth players. So that was the thing you wanted to play, to wear your national colours, to play in the World Cup and the Europe Cup. That was the dream. So I was really proud in wearing that shirt and also becoming a European champion with my teammates, and then after the world champion in the World Cup.
Yeah, you mentioned that World Cup. It was a few months later you were off to France for that, and in the boys singles you go all the way, win the title. And I think it was a month before your 15th birthday. So at 14 to win an event like that, how special a moment was that?
Yeah, on that moment I didn't realise it really, because I was just playing darts, having fun at it. And I knew I had the capability of winning a tournament like that because the level was there. I was playing high 90 averages in youth leagues all over Europe on that moment. So I thought I have the game to win this World Cup. But there was a good competitivity as well, because also Kyle Anderson, for example, Kim Huybrechts was also in that World Cup, but they were a couple of years older. And in that age class, the couple of years older is a big difference. For example, if you're 17 or almost 18, in comparison to me that I'm 13 or 14 years old. So I was really happy with that result, of course. But it's pretty, after, in hindsight, if I look back, I'm really more proud on that win than on that moment itself.
Yeah, it's a big win, and even at that young age, did those successes give you that early belief that a career in darts could be possible? And where did it go from there as you're going through your teens into your adult life? Was the focus always on darts, or were you still juggling work at the same time?
Dart has always been a red line in my life. After that first World Cup win, I of course attended school, and I really had no struggles with learning and doing education. So I had quite a high educational level. So I've went to college and I finished my master's degree at 21st. I was 21 years old, I think. So that was the priority, of course, to have a steady basis. But next to that, I always been playing darts and trying to be in the best form I can be. But I had some struggles after that win as well, because all of a sudden you're a known person. Everybody wants to beat you. I think every dart player that has some successes can confirm that as well. That's quite a struggle, and for sure, if you're 14 years old, you have to deal with that mentally. So that was quite a struggle. But I've learned to cope with that a little bit. And then some other successes, not major successes came, but to be in a world championship, for example, that's for me, when I look back, was a major success as well.
Definitely. And we'll fast forward then to 2010, and you had that deep run in the World Masters in the BDO, getting to the last 16. But it's around this time you're starting to enter the Players' Championships in the PDC, the UK Open qualifiers as well. What were those first experiences like, testing yourself in those events?
It was quite difficult as well, because you have so many good players. So I quite struggle with the entrance. But if I look back, also I didn't struggle, because I quite early qualified for UK Open, for example, for European Championship in 2012, and for the World Championship of 2013. So the entrance in the PDC scene was quite good. But then, also yes, ups and downs. That's my career, actually.
Well, as you mentioned, 2012, you qualified for the UK Open, the European Championship, and that second one, the European Championship, you win through the first round. You have that meeting with Phil Taylor, who you said was one of your idols. What was it like playing against him on TV?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that game. If you look at Phil Taylor, you can only play your best game, I think, because you don't have to win. There's no pressure on yourself because he's the Phil Taylor. Everybody expects him to win. So I could play freely, and I think I performed okay on that moment. I had some chances to go in front. I went in front, I think 6-5 or something. That was the best score line. So I had some chances, and I didn't beat him in that moment, but it was quite close. It was 10-7, and for me making debut over there to keep up with him, that was quite nice. But I played him already a couple of times beforehand, and it was always a close game. So that's quite for myself. I don't think he agrees with that, but we had some rivalry as I kept up with him in his games, even if he was in his best form.
Well, you said after that game as well that your next goal was to qualify for the World Championship, and you did that a few months later. And what a way to win on your debut, the 1-5-6 finish to beat Wayne Jones. What are your memories of that first time playing at Ali Pali?
It was just a dream that came true on that moment because, every player dreams of playing at Ali Pali. And to win a first game 3-0 with a high finish like that, it was just euphoric. And I really can't remember the moment that well, only from looking back at it in videos. But on that moment, you're going through such a roller coaster in emotions. So it's really hard to remember that, actually.
Well, it's a special moment, and the next round, it's another meeting with Phil Taylor, this time on the biggest stage there is. And although you did lose that one 4-1 in sets, you do finish the year inside the top 64, so you're on the tour for 2013. What did it mean to have that tour card and I guess professional status back then?
I think that was quite a victory for me. It gives you some comfort that you can be playing the tour. But in my opinion, I should have gone further on that moment. I should have gone putting in more practice hours, maybe looking for some mental health and a mental coach or something to prepare myself for that year, because that would be a really, really tough year for me. Within losing a lot of first rounds, that did my head in really mentally. So that's not good for your self-confidence as well. So I had quite a struggle the years after, because you had a target on your back as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, when the results aren't going your way, how hard is it to keep coming back to try and find that form? And you're in a field which is the best there is. You're up against the best players. It's a pretty tough place to be.
It's quite demotivating when you're traveling all over, and on that moment there wasn't like a scene like it is on this moment. You had to pay an entry fee as well. You had to pay for your hotel, for everything else. So, and I didn't have a management to support me like that, like financially as well. I had some sponsor, of course, that I'm really grateful of. But when you're traveling and putting in many pounds and euros and not winning anything back, that's really frustrating, of course, and demotivating as well to be traveling the next couple of tournaments when you know that your level isn't on the place it has to be to compete in those tournaments.
Well, let's get on to better times then. And without a tour card, we saw you back at Ali Pali the end of 2016. You won a spot through the Central European qualifier, and you instantly become a crowd favourite on the walk-on, dancing along to the music. You played the prelim and the first round on the same night that year. Did that take a lot out of you?
Yeah, it was quite a surprise, because I didn't have a tour card, as you mentioned. But on that day at the qualifier, it was my day. Everything clicked, everything went in. I didn't have any bad luck on my side. So it worked for me. And to play at Ali Pali again, the draw wasn't that good, actually. The prelim round, okay, I beat Warren Perry. But then the first round, Peter Wright was awaiting me again. So every time I get to a World Championship, I have some great quality players playing against me. But it was quite an honor to play Peter Wright. And I had some chances. I lost 4-0, but he played a 104 average or something. But it was quite hard to play the prelim rounds, preparing. I was there quite early. Then winning a game, then your adrenaline level goes down, and then playing the last game in the evening again. So I had quite a struggle with that energy degradation on that moment.
And you touched on it earlier. Afterwards, you got to stand with Peter Wright for the post-match interview, and on Sky Sports here in the UK, we usually only see the winners interview afterwards, but you joined Peter and the now iconic line that you felt like a fish on the stage. What did you mean by that?
In every language you have some certain sayings, and in Holland we say, I feel like a fish in the water if you feel uncomfortable somewhere. So I meant to say I feel like a fish in the water on that stage or something in that region, but it came out like this. So I think it was quite amusing. On that moment I didn't notice what I was saying, so I looked back at it and really was laughing, and everybody keeps reminding me of it, but I really don't mind. I like to have some to laugh at myself for my own mistakes. I don't mind.
You took it in good spirits, and you've probably seen the clip by now as well. You wouldn't have seen it at the time, but the presenter here in the UK, Dave Clark and Wayne Mardle in the studio, it had them laughing as well.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that clip many times as well. Yeah, I spoke with a couple of those guys as well afterwards, and yeah, it was all in good faith and was in good laughter.
Well, sticking with the TV side of darts, and our Dutch listeners, they'll be used to seeing you on what was RTL 7 and now Viaplay on their coverage of the darts in the Netherlands. So what's it been like working on that side of the game? And you get to work with the player that I call the GOAT as well, Koos Stompé.
Stompé. Yeah, he's a good colleague of mine. I've known him for years as well. But I really like working with those guys and really like to do the commentary and the analysis on the darts. Well, for RTL 7 did a lot for me as well. But also now in this moment when Viaplay took over the rights to stream and broadcast the darts, I was really in good hands. So I really am thankful to them as well. But I really like working and doing like this. So what I mentioned beforehand, the darts has been a red line in my life. So I'm doing the commentary and analysis on television, playing darts just to have fun as well, and also selling darts products for a manufacturer. So I'm really enjoying life, and it's quite attached to darts.
Well, as a commentator and analyst, we should get your thoughts on the top level of the game, and the Premier League season's coming towards an end. We've just seen Gerwyn Price go top of the table last week, going above Michael van Gerwen, but who do you think is going to finish top? Will Gerwyn hold on to it, or do you think Michael's going to catch him?
Oh, that's a difficult one. On this moment, I really think Gerwyn Price is the player that has the best form. And if he's on this form, it's really hard to beat him. So, in my opinion, I think if he will continue this form, I think he will be at the top of the table. But the difficult thing is, in the Premier League, you have the final day. And everything can happen in one game on that moment. So, like Joe Cullen could have been the Premier League champion last year, and he wasn't top of the table. So, have we seen that for many years? That the one that finishes top of the table, didn't win in the end. So, in my opinion, I think Gerwyn Price has the best cards, but don't underestimate the other players, because everybody can beat everybody, as we have seen.
We shall see. Well, behind Michael, we've got Danny Noppert, who won a major last year. Dirk van Dijvenbode, he's making some big strides, well, setting that top 16 now. But can you give us some names from the Netherlands who perhaps we're not talking about that we need to keep an eye on over the next few years?
That we're not talking about. Yeah, there are a couple of players, of course, that are doing, for example, the Modus series, like Brian de Vrede, Arjen Konterman. You have some young players like Owen Roelofs that are really coming up to the scene. Wesley Plazier, Danny van Trijp. No names like that, but you have so many good players on this moment, and it all depends on how they develop themselves and how professional they want to see the sport. And if they do it in the right way, they have a good future ahead of them.
And lastly, back to you. You mentioned it earlier that this is a bit of a sabbatical year for you in terms of playing darts, but we do have the Euro Tour back in the Netherlands this weekend. Are you going to be entering the host nation qualifiers, and beyond that, have you got any other tournaments that you're looking to play in for the rest of the year?
For the rest of the year, I don't have anything scheduled, as I mentioned. My first child is coming, so that's a priority. The only thing I'm looking forward is to this host nation qualifier, because I could enter that even though I didn't play Q school. So I entered this tournament. I will be traveling over there with my parents, just like for like the old times, and I will just take my time and enjoy that tournament. And if I win, I win, and if I lose, Yeah, no problem.
Well, good luck with the qualifiers this week. It'd be great to see you on that stage at least once this year. But good luck with the new arrival to yourself and your partner Jerry, and wish you all the best for that and for what else is to come this year as well.
Thank you very much, Alex, for having me, man. It was great talking to you.